I've been laughing since last June. We went to Scandinavia with the fam, and we were there for almost 2 weeks. We went to Sweden. We went to a couple of other countries. In any event, so when we were it was Denmark, we went to this amusement park. It's pretty famous, and it's reportedly the amusement park that Disneyland was based on. Walt Disney went, and Covent Gardens, and it's so charming, completely adorable. Like, you want to move in there. So we went. And we got on this roller coaster, which is called the Rutsjebanen, which I believe is roller coaster in Danish. And it was so tame that it only had the little like bar that comes down to your lap, just like the little silver bar. That's right. All. And so tame that it had an actual man who was about 200 who operated the manual brake while riding it with you, right? And so tame that the Queen of Denmark, I think she recently like passed the baton down to her son, who's now the king. But she was riding it like when she was 84 years old. Okay. But my husband, Doug, who does get some motion sickness. And
he threw up on the Rutsjebanen?
He didn't throw up, Mike, but you know how you get the pictures after the fact of your roller coaster ride? I took one look at those family pictures and I almost split a side open laughing. So I was at a 90-degree angle. I had projectile tears coming out of my eyes. I went over to the guy at the booth and I'm like, whatever you want for it, I'll pay it. You name your price for that picture. Doug never lived it down.
You know why I keep coming back to this? I mean, I really haven't put a lot of thought into it, but now that I sit here in the wake of this excellent conversation, contemplating the fragility, the frailty of the species and the attendant humility therein, it's just when we lose control of the most basic things, whether it's this sphincter or the other one, right? There's just something so relatable. I mean, I know it's gross. I know it's childish. I know Dirty Jobs was kind of built on one of those pillars, but it's not just the spectacle of it. It really is a reminder that we are still the same. Like nausea and diarrhea, dare I say, these things reach across the aisle like no other idea.
Well, you know what? Then again, keeping with the theme of tying it all together, so did Blue Origin. It tied us together, right and left. I was out there agreeing with Amy Schumer. Yeah. And Olivia, what's her name?
Wilde?
Yeah. She and I were on the same page.
Amazing.
On the it united the country in mocking their absurdity. It really was something. And also,
what a public service they provide.
Truly, without meaning to. One of the things I love about watching the video of us on our space mission is how much fun you can see the three of us are. We had so much fun. You levitate. You're lying down on the ground, and before you know it, look at that. You are levitating up, and you can fly. It's not like swimming. I thought it would be like swimming in water, but there's no resistance. And then you slam to the ground.
And then you slam, in a somewhat undignified heat.
Well, that's part of it, right? I love the bit where Sarah kind of shows her chest, mockingly, making fun of Lauren Sanchez. Because what happens right after that is we fall on the ground, and what you can hear in like the Raw clip, and pretty much in this one too, is me hysterical laughing, saying, Sarah! Because in the moment, I knew how funny it was. So it's like, you're right. There's something happening with the three of us up there that is especially fun, joyful, vulnerable in like a very great way, because we're mocking others and ourselves.
And the same thing, like you're all subjected to the same law, right? I mean, that's the beautiful thing about
like no
gravity.
One's sitting there in possession of their faculties.
Well, right. But like when you think about gravity, it's such a clarifying truth. In a world where you can identify as this or choose your own narrative or choose your own ending, it's like gravity doesn't much care if you believe in it or not. You lean too far back on that chair, you're going down, and no one cares. Think about how crazy it would have been in that moment when you were on that 0G if you had been the only one who had levitated and everybody else just lay there like pinned to the floor like a butterfly. You'd be like, oh no. Or you'd be like, God, I'm so special.
I always knew it.
I'm the levitator, you Luddites.
This is separating the wheat from the chaff.
Moments like that galvanize us and bring us together because there's still a few laws to which we're all subject.
You know, this is reminding me, and they threw us jelly beans too, which you can see. This is reminding me for some reason of the story that a woman told about Tucker Carlson, who was on the show this week, and a dear friend. I love him. People say the nastiest things about him.
They really do, man.
But he is just truly one of the best men. I absolutely adore him.
One of the best conversations I've ever had.
He's a great guy. He's totally misunderstood by the media and probably willingly and the left. But there was a great story about him before before Trump's Republican National Convention speech. Tucker spoke out there, as did many, folks that you should know.
Yeah.
And he was backstage with a civilian who had been asked to speak about something. I can't remember who it was, forgive me. But he could tell that she was nervous. She told the story. He could tell that she was nervous, and he sat down with her and introduced himself, and they started chatting, and she was talking about how nervous she was. And he said, "Can we pray about it?" And Tucker's really just kind of coming into his own religiously. Like he hasn't been exactly like a holy roller, forgive the term, but he's coming into it like in full flower right now. And so he held her hand and they said a prayer together. And I just thought there's something so cool about like, they're both backstage. They're both giving a speech. Even Tucker probably had some nerves because that's a big one.
Sure.
And this regular gal whose name we don't know was feeling it overwhelmingly. And then it's sort of like God sends you an angel to remind you, like, everybody feels this. You're not abnormal to feel nervous before a speech like this, but I got you.
Yeah.
And even if you fall on your face, like, we're good. People, they're going to love you even more, if you screw it up.
So 2 things. First of all, that moment is happening right now 1,000,000 times over all around the country. People in the midst of some kind of crisis are being comforted or ministered to in any number of ways by any number of others. And then there's that moment with a camera pointed at you. And that's Heisenberg, right? The act of observing a thing changes a thing in some way. The uncertainty principle, I think it's called. And so now back to the audience. What are we to make of a moment that is rooted really, typically anyway, in something that is very private and very personal? Are we to think that, okay, this is being willingly shared with us, as I think you think, and frankly, I do too. It's like that's honest and open and kind of brave, because you're putting if you're going to pray on the TV, you're going to take it in the neck from both sides.
Yes.
Right? We know that. But we also know that can be an artifice too. That can be pretentious.
Yep.
Anything. That's why I'm wary of earnestness, because it's hard to know, when a camera's in the room, what you're watching. And I've thought about it a lot since Dirty Jobs. Dirty Jobs is when it became real for me, because it was a different way to make TV. And I'm trying to do the same thing with this current project. But now, your brain will find what you tell it to look for. And I look for those moments all of the time. Who is being brave? Who's being courageous? Who really doesn't give a damn about, like, who really truly doesn't care that the camera's there? Those are the people you want to know.
Tariff wars, stubborn inflation, no wonder gold has been routinely hitting all-time highs. And volatile markets like the one we have now, don't sit on the sidelines with your head in the sand. You can take control and safeguard your savings. This is why so many Americans today are turning to Birch Gold Group. They have helped tens of thousands convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold. Is it time for you to hedge against economic instability with gold? To learn how to own physical gold in a tax-sheltered account, just text MK to the number 989898. Birch Gold will send you a free, no-obligation info kit. Again, text MK to the number 989898. With an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and countless 5-star reviews, Birch Gold has helped so many protect their savings with gold. It took us decades to get into the tangled mess they're trying to unpack now in D.C. How long is it going to take to get out of it, and at what cost? Text MK to 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.